One of the many attractions at Whiteman Park is the Tractor Museum. Dozens of relics from Western Australia's agricultural past are on display. The collection includes nearly 40 tractors, as well as stationary engines, vintage trucks, a display of country life artefacts and old photographs. Western Australia even had its own tractor manufacturer, Chamberlain Industries. This was subsequently taken over by John Deere before later closing down. The original prototype tractor, the 40K, and the famous tail-end Charlie are both on display at the museum. We'll see later on. The Tractor Museum first came to my attention on the 22nd of May 2005 when they had an open day at Muscle Pool, a picnic area at the south side of Whiteman Park. We arrive as they are packing up for the day, firing up the tractors for the run back to the museum. The reluctant star of the afternoon is the McCormick, which stubbornly refuses to start. The best way to overcome the problem is to do what tractors do best. Use another tractor to drag it into life.
Put them all up together.
Oh, that one won't start.
We will now, 18 years later, follow their footsteps, or should I say tyre tracks, back to the museum for a current walk through the exhibits. The tractor shed has 4 aisles, with tractors on each side of the aisles. We walk up aisle number 2 as far as the case tractor before retracing our steps back to aisle number 1. We didn't know it at the time, but just before the case tractor is an empty bay with an oily cardboard sheet on the floor, which will shortly have a smallish Leyland tractor parked there after having gone off to move another tractor. A Fordson commences our look at aisle number 1 with tractors of all shapes and sizes parked on each side of the aisle. Although I didn't know it at the time, this German Raupenstock tractor, known as a stock, is about to be moved to the empty bay just before the orange tractor. I had walked over to the other side of the museum when I'd become aware of quite a bit of noise happening over in aisle number 1, so I thought I'd go and have a look. I arrived just after the stock had been dragged out into the centre aisle, ready to be pushed into its new bay. Here is where that Leyland tractor earns its keep. The Leyland heads back to the bay next to the case. We will see her shortly when we walk down aisle number 2. Now we walk back to aisle number 1 to complete our walkthrough. Western Australia's own tractor was a Chamberlain. In the 1950s, I lived close to the factory, located in the old Welshpool Wartime Munition Works. I remember rows and rows of bright orange tractors awaiting shipment. Tail End Charlie, one of the first two champions off the assembly line, acted as a rescue vehicle between Darwin and Perth in the 1955 Red X car trial, covering 9,600 kilometres. In the following year, and in 1957, it completed the 16,800 kilometre mobile gas car rally around Australia. It has also taken part in several other rallies, as well as doing farm work afterwards. It has a modified transmission which gives us a top speed of 80 kilometres an hour. They were tough machines driven by tough men. When you think of it, 80 kilometres an hour in a tractor, even giving its road tyres, must have been absolutely terrifying. Now we find that little Leyland tractor parked in its proper place after all its hard work dragging that green beast around. At the western end of the shed, between aisles 2 and 3, lies the Fowler steam traction engine, a truly imposing beast. I turned on the infrared night vision light to look inside the dark smoke box to see the fire tubes. The driving wheels are enormous. They tower over me. Leaving the Fowler, we now walk down aisle number 3. On the right hand side, we're now coming up on the Lanz Bulldogs. The Lanz Bulldog is a German tractor powered by a single-cylinder 2-stroke diesel, known for its ability to run in reverse just as well as forward. The cylinder is located horizontally with the cylinder head facing forward. At the front of the cylinder is a hot bulb which needed to be preheated for the engine to be able to start. It needs a blow lamp or some other heat source for 20 minutes in order for the engine to start. Once the bulb is hot enough, the engine is turned over as fuel is sprayed on the hot bulb, catching fire. This ignition starts the engine in a forward direction, we hope. Out the back of the tractor sheds are several projects underway, as well as a McCormack Farmall Cub, looking resplendent in its red livery and new tyres. On the north wall of the fourth aisle, after a magnificent old Chevy truck, is a monster of a tractor. The equivalent, I reckon, of a diesel locomotive multiple units. It has 3 tractors. The first has a cab for the driver, and the next 2 units are permanently joined to the first with drawbars instead of front wheels. Each tractor also has dual driving wheels. After a short walk back along aisle number 4, on the opposite side we find the farm and agricultural machinery. At the northwest corner of the shed lies Bindi Cottage, showing what a farmhouse of this bygone era may have looked like. Bindi, in the Aboriginal language, means little girl. It is also a flat, grass-like plant with sharp spines. Not very nice to step on in bare feet. On the second Sunday of each month, a parade of tractors runs from the museum up to the railway station and then returns back to the museum. The first parade we will see took place on the 18th of May 2019, running past the cafe. Tail and Charlie obediently following up behind. Our second parade took place on Sunday the 12th of March 2023, where we see them at the final bend before the railway station. That huge horn you just heard was not from a tractor. It was from the Benabuk Railway, a locomotive called Rosalie with a special horn fitted to it. As we bid farewell to Tail End Charlie and the rest of his tractors, we head down to the railway station to have a look at this locomotive named Rosalie with this huge big American horn that's been fitted as a temporary measure. The big American locomotive horn cluster is temporarily strapped to the hood with an airline snaking down into the engine bay. That was a permanent horn mounted on the cab.